get ready to learn a ton of tips and tricks from Bloomberg Media's Director of CRM, Natalie Surrett. Let's welcome Natalie.
Hi, welcome. Good morning. Good turnout. I didn't expect this many people to be here so early, so welcome, and thank you, Movable Inc. and Think Summit for having me. So I'm Natalie. I'm the Director of CRM at Bloomberg Media, specifically over Bloomberg.com, which is a news subscription, primarily business and finance news, but we do have other coverage areas. And today I want to show you that you don't need a massive team or the best tech stack to do incredible things with personalization. You just need a framework and a willingness to start. So this is scaling personalization through test and learn, from quick wins to one-on-one experiences. A little bit about me. So my role encompasses overseeing the strategy and email for in-app and email for Bloomberg.com. And that involves communications focused on acquiring new subscribers, as well as retaining subscribers. And I've worked in email for 10 years, around the same amount of time that I've worked with Movable Inc., fortunately. And I've worked across various industries, and what I've learned is that there's common themes at organizations, both big and small. And this is one of them. We've got lots of ideas. We've got a bunch of Slacks. We've got brainstorm docs. We've got those thoughts that come to us in the shower. And not many of them come to life very quickly. And that's pretty much true at every organization that I've worked in. Not because you don't want to do the things, but because you simply don't have enough time or resources. And I used to let that prevent me from moving forward, but then I had a switch in my mindset. I read Atomic Habits, which talks about the 1% rule. And the 1% rule states that if you get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better. And I applied that to my marketing. So every test you run, every module that you try, presents a 1% opportunity for improvement. And they add up faster than you think. So how do I do that? I apply this scaling through iteration framework. First, I find my green shoots. These are those campaigns that are already showing success. They're your big bets. Then I identify my locus of control. This is another sort of psychological concept that says if you have control over your destiny, right? So think about the things that you already have in your tech stack, in your resources, no matter how small. What can you try right now? And then I run my test. Again, emphasis on don't be afraid to start small. Many 1% improvements are better than staying exactly the same. And finally, I parallel path. I roll out the tactic that I saw success with, and at the same time, I'm building my business case in order to build out the capability for a more sophisticated personalization capability. So let me show you how this works. My first case study involved merging two of our most successful campaigns. I adapted the automation and scale of one of our shining stars with the personalization of the other. All right, let's get into it. So our top stories campaign is really, like I said, my shining star of this framework. We're now on the 4th iteration of a campaign, and we are showing no signs of stopping. Every iteration showing even more success than the previous. A little bit about this campaign. So like I said, Bloomberg.com is a news subscription. So our bread and butter is our news articles. And our top stories campaign, the concept was simple. Let's show the top 3 stories on Bloomberg.com at time of open. That time of open element being essential, right? Through Movable Inc., we're able to show what is happening right now. Especially when you think about business and finance news, 1 minute old news can make a big change in your money, right? So, as you might expect, this campaign was doing well to start. It was going out every 3 or 30 days, depending on how engaged users were. It was overperforming on click-through rate, overperforming on benchmark, but we knew there was more to this, right? We're all email marketers. We want this one-to-one personalization, and this actually wasn't personalized. It was just real time. So I thought, okay, we have this endpoint. owned by our personalization team. It has the ability to append some parameters to target by most popular stories in a region, most popular stories by a specific topic. So let's run with it. I'm not going to ask our engineers just yet, and I think they like me for that. So here's what happened. I pulled that same endpoint and I added a topic layer. So I pulled 3 stories most popular for our wealth pillar, 3 stories most popular in our markets pillar, 3 stories most popular in our business week pillar, and 3 stories most popular in our politics pillar. So now we took a campaign with 3 dynamic elements to 12. And we saw a 50% click-through rate increase, as well as a significant decrease in cancellations from the previous email. And you'll notice as I walk through this presentation, I'm always comparing to the previous email, and you'll see, spoiler alert, it's always linear and improving every time. But like I said, we're email marketers. We're aiming towards that one-to-one personalization. And it's still not personalized. I'm still showing the same 12 stories to everyone. Click-through rates are doing good, cancellations are down, but I want to do more. So I looked at some targeting capabilities that we hadn't tested yet. Our affinity capabilities weren't that great at the time, but we knew we had at least some behavioral signals that would tell us what people are interested in. So I know that we send some emails about markets, people click on them, thankfully. I know that we send some stories about politics and people click on them. So let's just run a few manual tests, send a segment of people who have clicked on market stories, and send them the top 3 stories in markets. Same to the politics group. Send them the top 3 stories in the politics pillar. What did we see? 160% increase in click-through rate and even more decreases in cancellations from the previous send. But like I said, this is manual. So how do we automate? This is where we merged that second very successful campaign. In our onboarding series, the very first touch point asks our users, what topic are you interested in? We weren't really doing anything with that data. I knew one day we would, though. And so what did I do? I took the success of this manual top stories campaign, and I integrated it into our onboarding series. So on day 1, we ask you, what is your favorite topic? On day 2, we send you the top stories email for whatever topic it was that you said you wanted to read. What did this give us? 300% increase in click-through rate from the previous email, and again, a significant decrease in cancellations from the previous. And guess what? All of this without engineering resources. And what do I have now? A strong business case so they can build me the endpoint of my dreams. Case study number 2. This one's got a longer arc. This one spans over 4 years, and it's our year in review email. We took it from 2 data points to 22 personalized data points with some engineering help in the end. And here's how it went. So we launched our 2022 year in review campaign in 2022 with 12 modules, 2 data points, 4 stories, the most popular stories of the year, and a live poll at the bottom that asked our users if they thought 2023 would be a bull year or a bear year, which is something that we thought would be super engaging for our users. We did try it with a small cohort just because it was our first one. We weren't sure how it would do. It did okay. We saw a 2% decrease in cancellation from our holdout group, which is how we typically measure our retention success on a campaign level. But we knew there was more to this, right? We all look at Spotify. It's the best campaign we've ever seen, and we're trying to aim to that North Star. And we really were only using 2 data points. You would think we have a schema with more than 2 data points, right? We do. So there was so much more that we could do. So in 2023, between 2022 and 2023, we started testing some things in different campaigns. We tried some new attributes, personalizing here and there. We rolled out our benefits checklist, saw success in that. And that really drove the idea for how we wanted to build out our 2023 campaign. For 2023, kept the same number of modules, 12, implemented an additional 7 data points, so brought that up to 9, kept our 4 top stories of the year, and implemented our benefits checklist. We saw increases in click-through rates, decreases in cancellation rates. So we're on a good track. Planning for 2024 now. What we saw in 2023 was surprising, actually. The top clicked module was not where the data points and personalization was. It was in our top stories. So we ran with it. In 2024, we pulled back on personalization and we leaned into our top stories. We saw great success with it, but no email marketer wants to hear personalization doesn't work, right? So there's just a misalignment in the attributes that we chose to feature that year. And we worked towards it. 2024 comes around, and we've leaned into those 10 stories. We've got those 5 data points, stellar results. This time, we are seeing some green shoots on the data points. So for 2025, we won the lottery, basically. We pulled in 2022 data points with the help of our engineering team, kept the top stories to 10, and we're even able to launch our first ever referral program where subscribers were able to share a free month of Bloomberg.com with up to 5 friends in their network. And what did that get us? All these optimizations made it so that every year we continue to see decreases in cancellations, and ultimately our 2025 edition accomplished a 99% decrease in cancellations. Yes, 99%. Massive wins. And I'll just leave this up for a second so you all can see the evolution of the campaign. 2025, one of my proudest moments, we implemented essentially a curiosity index that showed all of the different topics that people are reading as a way to encourage them to read more topics. We launched our first 2 games for Bloomberg, so we had some really fun stats on your most strong topics, your weakest topics, your streaks. And then up top, we also had some badges for our super users. Huge shout out to Val. That's my partner in crime for this build. And it doesn't end there. As an added bonus, we even reached more users than ever before. We were able to send to our full file, still saw the highest click-through rate and lowest unsubscribe rate for this campaign to date. So there you have it. You can scale your personalization capabilities with small iterations. And you do that by first finding your green shoots, look at the campaigns that are working, and run with it. What are your big bets? Identify your locus of control. What do you have readily available that you can try without any additional resources while you try and build your business case? 3, run your tests. Don't be afraid to start small. Many 1% improvements are better than staying the same. And 4, roll out and build. If your test is successful, find ways to automate it, build your business case, and while you can unlock more sophisticated capabilities. So there. Whether you're a team of 1 or a team of 20, this framework works. You don't need to have everything figured out on day 1. You just need to start. Thank you.